It's a wide open world on the diamond. Both the World Series winner and runner-up of last year are both out of the way. A fresh mix of contenders enter to strike gold and glory alike. The old guard, the eternal bridesmaids, the young guns, and those that just want to watch things burn. 12 teams fight in the ultimate test of metal and might. Get in the pressure cooker. It's time to go. In the Yankees are elite, several moods are felt throughout baseball. A seething hatred for every other fan base for their success. ESPN celebrates since they don't have to care about any other team. And Brian Cashman continues to live rent-free at Yankee Stadium. To be fair, he did bring in Juan Soto, and he's an absolute beast. Until he's gonna get an entire vault dedicated to his payday this winter. Judge is still judge, jury, and executioner of baseball. And Gleyber Torres is back to form. DJ LeMahieu is not. But that starting rotation? It's been impressive, especially with Carlos Rodon's revival. Nestor Cortez might be out for the postseason, but they can execute anyone within range. Clay Holmes is also an executioner of late-game save situations. Seriously, what the hell happened to him and Stroman? But these are minor concerns. Aaron Judge managed to repair his lucky bat just in time for October. Come on, John Sterling's emerging from retirement to call the Yankees postseason. Everything is lining up in pinstripes for a deep run. If they blow this, particularly to a Texas-based team, oh boy. Congratulations, Guardians! You were the proud recipients of this shiny AL Central title because your rivals couldn't play the White Sox every game. The fact is that surprisingly middling since the break is more than good enough to take the crown and then some. Don't let that fool you into believing Cleveland's a cakewalk. Have you seen that pitching staff? Destroying worlds with arms out the wazoo. When Emmanuel Clase steps onto the mound, done. You're fucked. Goodbye, have a nice life. But the million-dollar question has always been in the batter's box. The headliner being Jose Ramirez, having the quietest 40-40 campaign in recorded history. But is he better than Barry Bonds? It's a massive reach. Maybe he can get some help this time around. Besides Manzardo, Noel, and maybe Lane Thomas, it's wild cards. Naylor, Kwan, it'd be awful nice for you guys to get back to past form. If only this team could get on base or hit righties, they'd be fine. Yeah, this team's gonna have to pitch people to death. Can they just clone Clase 15 times? I remember everyone cheering their demise back in April. From banging trash cans to being thrown inside them. Destroyed beyond repair as they revive from the dead to retake what was once theirs. Thanks a lot, Seattle. You're fucking useless. Rumors of their demise were quite premature. With that hitting core, they'll strike fear on anyone that dares step on the mound. It might be Alex Bregman's last ride as an Astro. They have to make it count. As long as Jordan's still a beast, that will continue. If he's at full strength in October, that is. Also, as long as the pitching questions don't linger. They have pieces there. Kikuchi's been solid in his role too. But what about Verlander? He's been nowhere near optimal form this year. Can he get it back in time? Can anyone close games besides Josh Hader? You dare trust the wild card of Ryan Presley? They've already had to evade IL stint after IL stint with their arms. They can't afford much more attrition than this. But we already know one reality. If they face the Yankees, game over, Bronx. All great teams go through growing pains. In Baltimore, they didn't just hit a speed bump, they drove past it so fast they flipped over the car. At Camden, September debuted the Orioles. A team that will do everything in their power to ruin a great season any way they can. When you lose 11 of 16 to piss away a division, when you finally had your first winning month since June, and most of your pitching turns into utter puke, there's limping into the playoffs, and then there's this. The frustrating part is that they have the talent to go far. We've seen it repeatedly. But can they turn the tide? They have the starting rotation to do it, minus Suarez turning into a pumpkin. Hope is here. It's okay, boys. The gas can has been removed. You can no longer haunt your ninth innings with his evil. If only most of their deadline acquisitions didn't flame out. Or if Grayson Rodriguez wasn't shut down for the year. I still have hope for Baltimore long term, but this year might be a stretch. What the hell happened to Rutschman anyway? I guess you could say they were able to get back to October? Like with the Tigers, it's been too damn long. And it nearly didn't happen. There's one man to credit for this for the most part. His name is Bobby Witt Jr., a bona fide superstar and transcendent figure carrying this long moribund franchise to glory. Salvi Perez is still a Kansas City legend in the making. Plus, their many free agent acquisitions have played a huge role, especially in the rotation. Seth Lugo is apparently elite now. Who knew? You Yet even for their impeccable run, they nearly pissed it away the moment Vinny Pasquantino got shoved. Their bullpen's battered by injury. Multiple 7-game skids. The recent run-scoring abilities have been drier than the goddamn Sahara Desert. A donut on the score sheet for 27 innings. If it weren't for their pitching performing Herculean tasks, the Pollads may have gotten away with being cheap asses. But what's done is done. They made the big dance. And now we ask the ultimate question. Are the Royals a legitimate foe? Or are they simply glorified White Sox merchants? If they fail, they can chalk it up to their stadium deal falling through.
Holy shit, they made it? Fucking Detroit.
This is the most hilarious timeline I didn't know I needed. The Tigers sold at the deadline. They were 8 games under 500. They had an infinitesimal chance of making it in mid-August and said, fuck it, let's cause some chaos. Thank you, Minnesota, for the epic collapse. The Tigers just showed up to the party like the awkward dude who doesn't say anything but peeps into the conversation a few hours in. But he brought a case of good beer, you can't make him leave. Let me tell you how this happens. First, you remove Javi Baez. Then you thrive. Gaze at Riley Green and Gary Carpenter. Hitting solid baseballs all around. Just don't ask most of them to hit for average. You assume the future on the mound was Casey Mize and Matt Manning. Turns out it was Tarek Skubal and Reese Olson. A dual-wielding power punch. The bullpen has become one of the most underrated in the game today. Especially with all the young arms hurling fire. How about some more highly regarded youth? Jackson Jobe, welcome to the show. Solid pitching and fielding, it's house money, baby. Nothing stops this hilarious train from rolling along. Now, if they could publicly flog Al Avila during the inevitable parade, it'd complete the dream season. Winning is the main priority, anything will be done to secure it. After the Dodgers lost to the powers of heart and friendship last year, the dollars would rain down on talent. It's kind of worked. Shohei's a transcendent demigod as expected. Cooled off a little bit, but how do you dismiss a 50-50 campaign off the bat? Teoscar Hernandez? Think Seattle could use him or what? With them an army of power and elite performance everywhere in the batter's box. Now as long as Mookie can get out of the funk he's in, I think they'll be fine there. Lording over their NL West rivals was expected, but the common thread continues to lurk in the shadows. Starting pitching's a recurring concern. Losing everyone there killed them before, and it might do so again. Tyler Glasnow was good until the inevitable injuries took hold. Gavin Stone was a revelation until he got predictably hurt. Is Clayton Kershaw going to be healthy enough to go? I don't know. He might need to since Miller and Buehler went absent like the latter's namesake. At least Yamamoto's back from the IL and Flaherty's healthy. LA tried like hell to avoid starting rotation depth issues. They have starting rotation depth issues. What a shame. If there's anything the world doesn't need, it's Dave Roberts overmanaging his bullpen. Stop me if you've heard this before. Another damn good team that's been hovering around 500 after the All-Star break. To be fair with how bad they were in late July, it brings the overall numbers way down. This is a group that lives and dies with their power bats. Doesn't tend to go well when most of them go ice cold. Bryce didn't hit a home run for about a month. Trey Turner's been iffy by his heightened standards. And Nick Castellanos seems to only hit dingers when there's national tragedies. Fortunately, they've come around since the lows of those times. And they have a winning record in September, but they're losing series to the Mets and Brew Crew. That's not a recipe for October success. They'll need their bats to be at peak performance. They'll need the 4 horsemen of the mound apocalypse to dominate foes with precision. They'll need their bullpen to be lights out. It'd be awfully nice if the pitching went back to first half form. Really nice. Just do us all a favor. Please, for the love of God, keep Taiwan Walker off the mound. He should go into the restaurant industry, since his meatballs are the tastiest they've been in an age. Here we go again. Another year where the Brewers will show us the trial version of their team, wowing us into investing in the full product. We get excited about what could unfold with this piece of technology. Then it proceeds to break the damn computer once we start it up. Milwaukee in October is not to be trusted. We've learned this lesson long ago. Despite their record, the same questions keep popping up. Will this team get consistent hitting? Contreras, Adames, and Churio have been solid, but is anyone else going to be the depth this group needs? I know what you're going to say, but what about Yelich? Well, he's hurt again, too bad. The Brew Crew's hitting near the damn Mendoza line as a unit in September. That's a recipe for disaster. We know their pitching is excellent, it has been for the last half-decade. The back end of that bullpen is a dynamo. Even their starting rotation is surprisingly stout, but I've been scarred by past traumas. Until they win a series, I'm under the assumption that they won the NL Central because... look at that division. It was full of inconsistency and underachieving. This is their chance to prove me wrong. I hope they do it. One word to describe the 2024 Padres. Wagon. A barrage of hellfire sounding throughout the land seeking vengeance. Last year was lost due to terrible luck. This time around, they'll make sure that nothing's given to chance. The waft of winning consumes San Diego, and they will win, and then keep winning. They will never tire of it. Chances like this are not to be squandered. With their trade acquisitions, it's more than proven. They haven't just been good, but great. Even better than advertised on most counts. They're looking like the complete package. Excellent contact, excellent power, excellent fielding, excellent starters. And that bullpen, if you exclude the random blowups by Robert Suarez, one of the best in the game. The question is the same as always. Can they once again beat LA? Can they overcome their legacy of failure like those before them? Can the spirit of Seidler guide them to a glory he could never taste? Or will there be another cringe rap release that ruins the moment? Less of that this time around, more rallygoose. You'll be fine. It would have been hilarious if the Braves bit the dust in Game 2 of the doubleheader. But it's more of a testament to their organizational depth. That's impressive. I believe at this point the Braves are down to conscripting bodies playing in the pony leagues. Hell, they're one step away from going to beer leagues. There is limping into the postseason, and then there's this. If you're a key player for the Braves, you've either dealt with a lengthy injury or are currently in the trainer's room. Ronald Acuna had another ACL tear in May. Spencer Strider never had a chance. Austin Riley's been shut out for all of October. AJ Minter's out for the year. Albies, Harris, Lopez, Moore, they've all been hurt. The attrition has their offense playing the score some goddamn runners in scoring position game. The only things that have been reliable are Marcell Ozuna's bat, Raisel Iglesias in the pen, and Chris Sale's impeccable revival. And right on cue, Sale's injury-free run has come to an end. He's unavailable for the wild card. And you boys have a hot date with a near-complete juggernaut. Well, good luck over there, guys. The body bags will be ready for your return. We tried warning you about the wrath of Grimace. You didn't listen. That first pitch of his was the greatest blessing an organization sorely needed. When you go from an incredibly god-awful May to reviving like a phoenix from the ashes, Jorge Lopez is throwing more than gloves around his house. These are the anti-Mets. A group that has gone against every single organizational trope over the past 4 months and shows no signs of stopping. From an alleged punt year to an incredible surge led by the musical talents of Jose Iglesias. Hitting talents, too. The real star dominates it short. Francisco Lindor is pretty much carrying this team on his back. If it weren't for Shohei, he'd be consensus NL MVP. The total package for the orange and blue. If anyone ever says he's overpaid, shun them immediately, they do not know ball. It's also a good dose of Mark Vientos for good measure. Their brilliant run, the Polar Bears' potential last ride here will involve the postseason. Their rotation has blossomed into a strong unit of its own accord. You just wish they had Kodai Senga. This year's been lost and he might not be back for October. The pen will we get the real Edwin Diaz that's dominated in stretches, who knows? Whatever happens from here, this has been a season of magic and memes. The yin to lol Mets yang. Perfectly balanced. If they ride this form into a World Series berth, oh my god. If you know me, this is the part you hate the most. Not just the waiting for a postseason that's anyone's to claim, but that horrible, marginally informed prediction. We will not discuss what happened last year under penalty of death. In the meantime, I don't learn. So my pick for the World Series is Astros versus Padres. I feel they're just the most complete teams in the dance this year, and I like their momentum towards the postseason. I swear to God, if this prediction blows up in my face in 2 days again, I'm quitting the fucking internet.
And Jacob Webb, who gave up a home run to Josh Young yesterday, comes in with the bases loaded to face Mitch Garver. That ball is hit in the air to deep left field. Hayes going back at the wall. It's gone. It's a grand slam. Mitch Garver breaks it open for the Rangers, who have 9 runs over the first 3 innings.